Hi, this is Charlie from PRO-1 Racing. Today I'm going to go over how we here at PRO-1 Racing perform a stainless steel conversion. The head I have in my hand is a CRF450 head that was shipped in to have us do a stainless steel conversion. We'll go over here to the screen. So we use Kibble-White stainless steel valves in the conversion kit. Here's what the heads come like when they come to us when they're mailed in. As you can see, they're all carboned up. What we do is we disassemble the head, and what I like to do when I disassemble a head is I like to put the exhaust valves on one side, which you see as they're on the left, and the intake valves are on the right. In most applications, the intake and the exhaust valves use different springs, collars, and valve keepers. Lots of times, like in this particular head, the exhaust valves guide, the valve stem diameter is 5 millimeters and the intake is 5.5. We take the head and we degrease it, and then we vapor blast it, and then we take the head and we ultrasound clean it before we start our machining process. We check the valve protrusion. That's the most important thing to see what happens here. We verify this measurement. As you can see there, I've got the valve inside the head, and we check that measurement. If it's out of spec, then we have to install new seats, and when we do install new seats, we use Moldstar 90 for our seats in our applications. We also check the valve guide inside diameter and verify it. If it's out of the specs, of course we would replace the valves. Before we do any of these operations, of course, we always notify the customer of additional charges that may be needed on his cylinder head. And then what we do here is, as you can see, is all valve seats, our valve seat profiles are CNC machined, and we design our valve seats profiles to enhance airflow and port velocity. In the picture there, I've got Dicom there, and it shows you that one intake seat being cut, but this is so we can visually see what we're cutting and making sure that we can have a concentric seat to the valve guide. We use a Nguyen BB contour machine for cutting our valve seats. It's a CNC machine. I'll see if this will play right now. Let's go back. As you can see, it's programmable. We can program any angle, radius, and match it up to the throat ratio that we need. That little probe there is a depth probe that keeps the depth of the valve while the seat's being machined on the machine. We use liquid cooling when we cut the seats. That gives the bits. We either use a carbide bit or a CBN when we cut seats. It just depends on the hardness of the material. This particular seat, that's an exhaust seat that we're cutting, and we're putting it's a radius angle type setup. It seems to work very well in the 450 applications. And the other thing that's interesting is all the valve seats are different, have different profiles, and we try to stay as close to the factory specs on that. Okay, that's got it done. Okay, the Kibble-White Stainless Steel Conversion Kit consists of, all the parts are labeled in a plastic bag. The intake valves, it includes intake valves, the springs, the top and the bottom collars, and then on the exhaust, of course, it's the same, exhaust valves, springs, top collars, and bottoms. And in most applications, it includes new valve guide seals. I want to note, though, the kits do not include the valve seat cotters. In the picture, as you can see there, I've got the parts except for the valve springs, and also the two little blue tools are devices that we use to install the valve guide seals. Assembly notes: always put the lower spring retainers in first, because in most applications the valve guide seal holds the lower spring retainer in place. Lube the seals and use a valve guide tool when you install the valves. Make sure you use the proper valve spring tools. There's lots of companies out there that make them. Note, in some applications, the tight wind right here on the bottom here, this wind might have be tighter. That always goes to the bottom so that we don't get coil bind when you assemble a head. That's the head completed. That's using the Kibble-White precision machining spring kit. I also want to note that if you put a stainless steel kit in, you have to change the valve springs because of the weights. I want to thank you for watching. The stainless conversion kits are available through Kibble-White valves. Thank you.